So let's get started. So I didn't think I was gonna have to make this video here, guys. I honestly didn't think I did. Cause last night I was streaming and someone came into my stream and they told me some things that the EA developers said, and I didn't believe it. I was like, nah. And I was like, it's coming from a real credible source. So I wanted the screenshots. And before we get into this, guys, because I know there's a probability that EA will see this video, and I want you guys to show a ratio of likes to dislikes. If you like the game, like the video. If you think the game is trash, like the video. If you think the game is fine and you like EA Sports UFC 4, dislike the video. I'm asking you to dislike if you actually like UFC 4. Feel free to, because I want to see the ratio from likes to dislikes. Now, let's get into the screenshots, guys. Again, this is a EA developer. This is not Photoshop. These are 100% screenshots. Now, the first screenshot we have here, we have EK Dino MMA. He says, I want fight shorts, don't get me wrong, but I want the obvious game-breaking mechanics fixed. Now, he speaks for the whole entire community that plays this game. We want fixed game mechanics. The shorts, yeah, that's fine. You know, those Venom shorts, those are going to come into the game, obviously, just to bring more eyes to the game, which was smart, you know. But game mechanics need to be fixed. The game has been out since August 14th of 2020. I think a lot of game mechanics should have already been fixed. Now, he says, nah, haters gonna hate. It never stops. We update one thing, they complain about another. I have no guilt in this because I happen to know everyone involved puts in more than a hard day's work, and that's enough. Now, this message here, guys, from I have no guilt, all to here, right? Cap. Straight cap is straight up cap. Okay, now haters gonna hate. We update one thing. Okay, yeah, we do complain, bro. We complain about another because a lot of times when one thing gets fixed, another thing gets busted. But again, I'm not going to play one side of the consumers, and I'm not going to play the side of the developers. I'm on nobody's side. I'm playing both sides. I'm looking at it from both standpoints. So we have him. He says stamina recovery. Yep, stamina has been a problem. Any more updates? Skynet. He doesn't respond to that message. And then Dino says the game in a tragic state at the moment, and one or two fixes makes this game 100 times more enjoyable. And he speaks for the whole community. This is true. You know, simple fixes can help stuff, but trying to band-aid problems isn't the move, right? So EK Dino, he replies to EK Dino, here's the rub, mate. You want more than can be had. So pick your poison and be happy about the things that improve. Feel free to bring up the stuff that still needs, I don't know what this says, maybe it says improving. And then he says, check the attitude. I'm sorry, which one of Dino messages came off as him having an attitude or him being, you know, off-putting? Neither one. Dino just wants a better game. Dino has put in more work than this specific developer and any developer working in EA. As far as playing the game, Dino has put in more hours, more minutes, more seconds than anybody at EA, and I guarantee that. Lord forbid if people at EA even play their own product, right? And this message was like, pick your poison and be happy about the things that improved. Hello? So anyways, going back to this message, right? He says, everyone puts in a hard day's work, and that's enough. Okay, hard day's work. So let's check your latest patch and the things that you implemented into the game after a month and 3 days, right? I believe it was a month and 3 days. Don't quote me, but it was at least a month. So we go here, you drop Rob Font, you drop Zero Gone, and then the takedown, back clinch takedown, that's thinking how many game mechanics were quote unquote fixed, right? Takedowns, rear naked choke, the 50-50, okay, that was fixed. Then advanced slip rear hooks, that the things that they did with this, okay, that's another thing. And then fix the bad stay over under against submissive trip, fix mirroring issue in the over under back or breaking knee. Bro, you basically did two things, right? Basically did two things with this patch. So in a month, you did the back clinch, back drag, and then the recovery on slipping hooks. Now you can also say the back lunges on Dominic Cruz and Tita Dillashaw, but those should have been fixed, right? So hard day's work for 30 days. If this is what you can do in 30 days, I'm afraid for the future. Now, next screenshot. And then EK Dino says, I struggle to find what's improved. I mean, from UFC 3 to 4, bit of a shocking lack of development, not shocking for EA Sports game. Now, you know what's sad? He's already prepared to be let down by EA. That's sad, bro. So what can be had? And what can be had, that message goes back to this message here. He says, you want more that can be had. Well, we don't know what can be had because there's a very poor connection between us and them as far as feedback. Now, I'm not in forums. I'm on Twitter, and I can go to EA Twitter, and these guys don't talk to anybody. They just release these pictures and these posts and things of that nature. There's no community talk, none of that between their developers on Twitter and us. Shouts out to Jeff because he actually did it while he wasn't a community manager either. Anyways, and then he says, why was the sub system even swapped from UFC 3? I could agree with that. I like UFC 3 submission system better. And then here's the rub, mate. Yeah, that was his message back here. Here's the rub, mate. And then he says, seems like everything that has been added or tweaked from UFC 3 is worse. And I can partially agree with this. I would have to sit here and think about the things that were changed from 3 to 4, but a lot of things like the submission system, ground and pound system were changed and they weren't needed. You know, they were trash, right? Submission system UFC 4, trash. The ground and pound system UFC 4, trash. Now, tell us what your capabilities are instead of giving us bare mass. Exactly. You have to tell the consumers, the people that are playing your product, what exactly are your capabilities. That way, we have a general idea of what they can and can't do. Otherwise, guess what we're going to sit here and do? Assume, because we don't know. So, going over to the next shot, and remember this message, right? Seems like everything that's been added or tweaked from UFC 3 is worse. The developer says, then play UFC 3. If this is your message, you say, then play UFC 3. How about don't make UFC 4 and just continue to update UFC 3? The reason you make a new game is because it wants to be a better game than the one before. How you gonna tell somebody that put in more work than you, really a consumer of your product, to then play a different game? An older version of a game. Like what? Man's dead set, then play UFC 3. Who mans is this? Then, okay, chokes have been probably the biggest problem for months, I would say at least. Now, I can agree and disagree with this message from Suave Jamie because chokes are extremely strong, but the problem is the ability to get into a position to get the choke. That's the problem. Whether we're talking about the standing guillotine where they walk you around and kill all your stamina, or we're talking about the getting your back, dragging you back, or jumping on your back to get the the rear naked chokes, or the headlock hip tosses into side saddle to get the arm triangles. Very easy to get those positions. Now, the thing is the direction this game went into, completely neglecting the online play balance. The people who are passionate the most about this game keep getting let down. Now, again, I can agree and I can partially disagree with this message here because, again, the last update with the slip hooks and the backpack and the back drag, those changes were to online balancing, right? But the problem is that was after a month of work. Again, that's relatively small for a patch for, a month of hard work, right? So we move on. Dino, we are here to help. That's a terrible attitude. This is why we'll never get a good game. Now, again, I can disagree. This message here should have been omitted and not sent by Creasy. Obviously this message was coming from the heart, but again, this is why we'll never get a good game. I don't think that message was needed. Did he have a terrible attitude? I can agree. But again, this message was not needed. Now, he says completely neglecting the online play. Then he sends his laughing emoji and he says, this is why y'all don't get as much input as you want. What? Bro, just coming off it's like, I don't know, coming off weird. And the thing is, going back to the first message, I have no guilt. He has no guilt. So all these things he's saying, he's 100% committed to saying these things and he has no guilt about it. Next screenshot. So he says, you might not care about what's coming in this patch, but I know many people do. Buff Uriah Hall will definitely be happy. Now, what he's referring to here is Dino's message when he said something about these shorts, I'm pretty sure. Then he says, we weren't the ones that released a half-made game. But now again, Dino didn't have to send this message. I don't think this message was needed, but But it is what it is. Again, Dino could have kept this message. I'm playing both sides, right? And then Skynet, he says, well, this is Buffy Uriah Hall. He says, we get free short selection. I don't see the appeal when replays focus on head and the head is covered by a dumb mask. Now, again, he could have kept this word dumb. And he's talking about basically the in-game cosmetics where you can put like a lion mask and things of that nature on your fighter and still be in the octagon fighting with it on, which obviously caters to casual players, right? But come on, it's about playing the game, not looking at it. Now, again, this is another message where I can agree but partially disagree, because it is about playing the game, but you do want your product to look good. But the problem is there's more looking good than there is the game actually running good. You know what I mean? So, and then this last message just put me off. And why are you still here complaining about the half-made game after so many hours of playing it? If you dislike it that much, spend your time elsewhere. Whose mans is this? Whose mans is spend your time elsewhere? I'm sorry, Dino doesn't have another MMA game to play because y'all tied up EA Sports. I mean, EA Sports tied up MMA, UFC. And he is an extreme fan of the sport and how he expresses that through his play style, because he's one of the most dynamic, if not the most dynamic player on this game. And he expresses that with your product. And all he asks for is game fixes that should have been already fixed. Like, what? If you dislike it that much, spend your time elsewhere. People that usually complain still kind of still want to play your product. If I don't complain anymore, just like a relationship, if your significant other doesn't complain anymore, chances are they have given up and they don't care anymore. And a lot of people have done just that. Right? And with that being said, guys, I'm just blown away with how this developer came off to someone of Dino's caliber. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't even say, oh, well, if it was someone else he was talking to that was, you know, not as dynamic and not as known or not as very good or put in as much work as Dino, I'd still have this same attitude because you're talking to a consumer. Again, did Dino come off wrong with we weren't the ones to release the half-made game? But yes, but is Dino lying? No, the game was half-assed when it released. 110%. And if you think I'm capping, you must not play it when it first released, right? Now, here's another thing, and I want to say this. EA Sports UFC 4 has been, in my opinion, you know, obviously I'm not stating facts, but in my opinion, it has heavily catered to casual players due to the changes, things of that nature, like the ground and pound system, trying to be simplified, but yet it is complete dog. The submission system was changed because a lot of people complained about it in UFC 3. And the problem is UFC 3 submission system is better. It's just a lot of people didn't want to take the time to learn submission system, to learn and get better at the submission system. And also the tutorials for the game are completely terrible, or they don't have them. There's a lot of things in the game that you have to go to YouTube, my channel, Romero channel, or other people that make tutorial channel to actually learn versus it being actually stored into your game. That's a huge problem. The tutorials in UFC 4 are terrible. I've had multiple people come into my stream, hundreds, come into my stream and ask me how to do something because the game doesn't tell you. I mean, even in practice mode, right? In practice mode, you would think that, you know, it would show you how to do something. It just tells you the buttons. It doesn't even show like a small preview of the fighters doing it and how they will look so you know if you're doing it right. It doesn't even show that. The tutorial system, that all of that is terrible. Now, did it get better from UFC 3 due to, you know, people like DMart and Romero doing some in-game tutorials? Yes, but the tutorial system overall is still terrible. Especially coming from someone that is a casual, they're going to jump straight on YouTube because they don't learn too much from the actual in-game. Right? And I want to say this. And I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm an Esports Boxing Club fanboy, but I'm just going to be realistic here. The people that play Stand and Bang when Esports Boxing Club drop, whether the game is good or not, because they are done and sick of EA, they're gone to Esports Boxing Club. The people that don't like the ground game, Esports Boxing Club, they don't care that they can't kick and elbow no more. They don't have to worry about getting grappled, right? Okay, now the players that, play Stand and Bang, they're gone. The casual players, right? The casual players that have seemed to be getting catered to when Esports Boxing Club drop, they gone. Oh, wait, it ain't gone yet. They've been gone. They've been playing Warzone, bro. They've been dropped UFC 4. They just picked this up just for let me play with when the homies come over, we gonna drink and play some UFC 4. That's it. Other than that, Warzone, here we go. Warzone, man. Most of the casual players that have been targeted don't even play this game no more. I wonder how many people still play this game on a daily. From UFC 3 to UFC 4, UFC 3, you could see how many people are online. You can't see that in UFC 4 no more. Quite interesting. Why? Why was it taken away? I don't know. I don't know at all. But that's it. That's really the end of the video. Honestly, it's crazy that a developer would talk like that, bro. It's crazy. Oh, man. The future that holds in UFC 4 ain't looking too good. Ain't looking too good. I ain't done yet, though. You thought I was done. I ain't done yet. I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about the beta. The beta was released, right? There was a private beta for people. Now, you had to sign up. Now, you signed up, I believe, 2 months in advance, and the beta was only a day or maybe 2 days. So imagine signing up for a beta and only getting it for a day or 2 days. You know what that tells me? They got a lot of criticism, backlash, and bad feedback from consumers, the people that played the beta, and they pulled the plug on it and said, okay, we can way too much backlash. We're going to pull the plug, and then, they're going to release it later on that year, and still hurt. The game was still dog at release. Highly disappointed. That's the end of the video now, guys. Stay up, stay blessed. Again, I want to say this before I do slide out. Me or anybody else that is a fan of MMA or UFC specifically, we play this game because the love of that sport. Not because we love UFC, because we have a way to express it in the game. Like people that play Madden, well, they're a sport of football, so they play Madden. People that are a sport of basketball, they play 2K. It's just the name of the game. That's how we express it. We can't go out there and hoop. We can't go out there and fight. You know what I'm saying? We can, but not in the UFC. So this is how we express it. And unfortunately, this is what we get out of developers. But it is what it is, right? But again, peace out, guys. Love you. Stay up. Stay blessed.